We're talking about the battle for the mind. In this edition, I want to talk to you a little bit about how do we identify limiting beliefs? How do we laser in on those and identify them and call them out? And then once we've identified limiting beliefs, how do we break their hold on us? How do we begin to replace them with truth? How do we cause our mind, how do we reformat the hard drive of our heart and introduce this new information and cause it to become the default truth? Well, let me give you some things that I believe will help you. I want you to list out the areas of your life that intuitively you know there's more. Instinctively, in your heart of hearts, you know that God has something more for you, whether it's financially, spiritually, emotionally, relationally. Maybe it's a relationship with your children. Maybe it's your ability to be promoted and to make progress in your career path. Maybe it's your ability to start a business. But you know that right now you're living beneath your capacity, beneath your created potential. List out those areas. Just make a list of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 10 things that you sense, man, God has more for me. And then in relationship to each of those, I want you to spend time asking yourself these types of questions. What do I believe about my ability in that area? What do I believe to be true about my capacity to be that or do that or accomplish that? And be honest with yourself. What would be helpful is for you to go back and to think about or consider, how would my parents have answered this question? The environment that I grew up in, the people that were around me, maybe some of the people that were teachers or mentors to me, how would they have answered that question for me? Because more than likely, whatever their answer would have been, they might have imposed that belief on you. And begin to look at and identify and write out, listen to me, write out with your hand, write out the limiting beliefs that come to your mind that you think might be challenging your ability to move forward in those areas. And I promise you, it's going to be a little bit overwhelming. In fact, for some of you, it's going to be emotional. Because you're going to begin to recognize, oh my God, I had no idea that that belief was so deeply embedded in my heart. Here's the thing. This part of it's no fun, identifying the beliefs. Because you got to own it and say, my gosh, yeah, this is my stinking thinking. I've got to deal with this now. Once you've identified the limiting beliefs for each of those areas that you know God has more for you in, then we're going to go back and we're going to write out on another column over here the antithesis of the untruth. So whatever the limiting belief is, I want you to write, whether you believe it or not right now is irrelevant. Write out what the opposite of that is. So if your belief about your ability to make more money is, I'm just going to always struggle and have a minimum wage job and really struggle to get ahead, it's going to be, I'm not going to ever be able to do the things I dream of doing. Right, and I said, you know what? I have the ability and the capacity to make all the money that I want to make. I can do anything God's put in my hands to do. I can create wealth. The Bible tells me I can create wealth. I can accomplish my dreams. Whatever the opposite of the untruth is, write that out. So you identify first, and then I want you just to arbitrarily, randomly, whether you fully believe it or not right now, it doesn't matter, write out the opposite of that. And then I want you to take what you've written as the potential truth that you know you can adapt in your life, and I want you to begin to speak those things out loud 3 and 4 and 5 times a day. First thing when you get up in the morning, on your break at work, on your lunch break at work, in the afternoon if you take an afternoon break at work, if you, in the evenings right before you go to bed, just out loud. I don't care. If you're embarrassed, that's your problem. Get in the closet, go outside in the backyard, take a walk in your neighborhood, whatever you have to do, but out loud, talk it out. Speak truth. Speak truth. Proclaim and confess truth. The Bible says if you confess with your mouth and if you believe what you're confessing in your heart. You say, well, Brian, right now I don't know that I believe it. Here's my thing. The more you confess the truth that God's spoken to your spirit, the more it becomes real to your heart. The more it becomes real to your heart, the more it becomes your truth. And so I want you to identify the limiting beliefs, write down the opposite, and begin the exercise and the discipline of confessing out loud the truth as God sees it. My name is Brian Holmes. We're going to come back and talk much more about this in the next episode. I look forward to seeing you very soon.